Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2015 EGU award ceremony. It is our great honor to welcome our medalists and awardees here. And please welcome first on stage the president of the EGU, Hans Thybo.
Welcome to this year's award ceremony. It's a real privilege to stand here and get the chance to celebrate some of the best scientists in their disciplines in the world. I'm proud that the list of awardees reflects a truly international competition. Even though the EDU is the European Geosciences Union, it's clear from the affiliation of the awardees that they have been selected as some of the best scientists in the whole world. So we are proud to honor some of the best scientists in their disciplines, not only from Europe, but from the whole world. They are truly worth for celebrating. Thank you for coming to celebrate their achievements.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome EGU's Vice President, Günther Blöschel.
Good evening. We're indeed here to celebrate excellence. The finest minds worldwide who are getting their honors, the awards and medals today. These are all leaders in their fields, disciplines to which every single scientist contributes. Indeed, it's one of the foremost aims of EGU to contribute to the exchange of information, to fostering the sciences so that creativity can foster. I'm looking forward to the award ceremony. Thank you.
Please welcome here on stage the 2014 Outstanding Student Poster awardees. Please applaud for Katalin Negrea, Atmospheric Sciences. Lukas Strauss, Atmospheric Sciences. Malte Rieck, Atmospheric Sciences. Stefanie Augustin Bauditz, Atmospheric Sciences. Dimitri Sajanov, Biogeosciences. Irina Patasenok, Biogeosciences. Merit van den Berg, Biogeosciences. Eduardo Moreno Chamorro, Climate, Past, Present and Future. Matthew Stillarive, Climate. Saúl González Lemos, Climate. Tobias Weber, Climate. Jamoa Afrifa, Climate. Anja Dietz, Cryospheric Sciences. Andras Schlinski, Earth and Space Science Informatics. Philipp Glira, Earth and Space Science Informatics. Elisenda Bakker, Energy, Resources and the Environment. Mark Stacey, Geochemistry, Mineralogy, Petrology and Volcanology. Sylvia Burke. Adria Rovira Garcia, Geodesy. Benjamin Maunda, Geodynamics. Helene Kraft, Geodynamics. Jana Eichel, Geomorphology. Anne Dreißigacker, Geosciences, Instrumentation and Data Systems. Angelica Tapanelli, Hydrological Sciences. Uval Abdusalam, Hydrological Sciences. Magdalena Rogger, Hydrological Sciences. Martina Oeckert, Hydrological Sciences. Peter Grieve, Hydrological Sciences. Carly Delavau, Isotopes and Geosciences. Katharina Lemos, Natural Hazards. Martin Braun, Natural Hazards. Moussa Vaongo, Natural Hazards. Tiago Abreu, Natural Hazards. David Faranda, Nonlinear Processes and Geosciences. Majid Bashtanka, Nonlinear Processes and Geosciences. Isabel Chalon Chochas, Ocean Sciences. Sören Thompson, Ocean Sciences. Yong Ha Kim, Ocean Sciences. Bob Yungsheng Tian, Planetary and Solar System Sciences. Gregor Steinbrügge, Planetary and Solar System Sciences. Piero Dincecco, Planetary and Solar System Sciences. Stefano Nerossi, Planetary and Solar System Sciences. Kristina Kelevitz, Seismology. Maria Mustak, Seismology. Menandrine Meyer, Seismology. Christine Brinks, Soil System Sciences. Dasil und Sui Belmonte, Soil System Sciences. Pauline Fanguin, Soil System Sciences. Roman Hüppi, Soil System Sciences. Lauren Bloom, Solar Terrestrial Sciences. Michael von Papen, Solar Terrestrial Sciences. Pavel Zvachina, Solar Terrestrial Sciences. Melanie Fruit, Stratigraphy, Sedimentology and Paleontology. And Adina Pisok, Tectonics and Structural Geology. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2015 Division Outstanding Young Scientist awardees on stage. Please applaud for Richard Davey, Atmospheric Sciences. James Rhee, Biogeosciences. Jeremy Shecken, Climate, Past, Present and Future. Omar Bartolli, Geochemistry, Mineralogy, Petrology and Volcanology. Christoph Sosnika, Geodesy. Bertrand Bonfont, Planetary and Solar System Sciences. Paulo Pereira, Soil System Sciences. And Patrick Grunert, Stratigraphy, Sedimentology and Paleontology. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome here on stage the 2015 division medalists. Please applaud for Gregory Hausmann Augustus Love Medal, Göran Ekström Benno Gutenberg Medal, Christine Larsen Christian Huygens Medal, Peter Jansen Fridtjof Nansen Medal, Robert Lysek Hannes Alfvén Medal, Nicolas van de Giesen Henri Dassy Medal, Wolfgang Schlager Jean-Baptiste Lamarck Medal, Diane McKnight John Dalton Medal, Sami Solanki Julius Bartels Medal, Daniel Scherzer Louis Fry Richardson Medal, Michu van den Broeke Louis Agassi Medal, Toshihiko Shimamoto Louis Neal Medal, Paul Valdez Milutin Milankovic Medal, Ingrid Köbel-Knappner Philippe Duchefaux Medal, Alfredo Langmay Plinius Medal, Heather Wiles Ralf Alger Bagnold Medal, John Eichelberger Sergei Solovyev Medal, Yevgeny Burov Stefan Müller Medal, and Geoffrey Blewett Wenning Minus Medal. Dear audience, we are now awarding the Arne Richter Outstanding Young Scientists. For this ceremony, please welcome on the floor Arne Richter, to whom this award is dedicated, to recognize an entire life of tireless dedication to geosciences in Europe. I'm now calling the 2015 Arne Richter awardees for Outstanding Young Scientists on stage, together with their citationists. Please welcome Francesca Pianosi with citationist Thorsten Wagener, Jérémy Mogineau and citationist Olivier Gagliardini, Katrin Schröder and citationist Neil Wells, and please welcome Manuel Facenda and citationist Luis Moresi. Thorsten Wagener is kindly delivering the citation for Francesca Pianosi.
The first time I met Francesca was during a Skype interview. A colleague from mathematics and I conducted 6 interviews to identify 2 postdocs we wanted to hire. After the 30-minute interview of the first candidate, which was Francesca, we decided that we would make her an offer of a position because we could not imagine that we would find a better candidate in the remaining 5 candidates. That was 2 years ago. Since then, she has continued to exceed my expectations as a researcher and as a person. And I'm very happy that she received this deserved award. And even more happy that she continues to stay with us at the University of Bristol in a permanent position. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Francesca Pianosi has presented the 2015 Arne Richter Outstanding Young Scientist Award.
I'm obviously very honored of this award, and so I don't really know what to say, just thank you to EGU. Thank you to Thorsten for nominating me and more generally for supporting me in the last 2 years, and also actually I would like to thank a number of people I've been working with in the past. I'm not going to give the list of names, but they do know. So thank you.
Olivier Gagliardini is kindly delivering the citation for Jérémy Mogineau.
So, Jérémy started his career in Grenoble by studying remote sensing and planetary science, focusing essentially on radar echo sounding on Mars. He notably developed an original method to detect water content on Mars subsurface, and despite he is now focusing on Earth's polar ice sheet since 2009, he remains very active in this specific field. After moving to the University of California in 2009, Jérémy has become rapidly an international leader in remote sensing of the cryosphere. He is at the origin of most recent maps of Greenland and Antarctic surface velocity, together with delineating the limit between floating and grounded ice around Antarctica. Owing to his work and willingness to collaborate, the outstanding dataset he produced so far to be crucial for the most recent breakthrough in ice sheet modeling, but are also a key component of the estimation of ice sheet contribution to sea level rise. His astonishing track of record both on Mars and Earth, or both on Mars or Earth's polar ice sheets, with idly cited article, clearly demonstrate the large impact of the science Jérémy produced so far.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jérémy Mogineau is presented the 2015 Arne Richter Outstanding Young Scientist Award.
Well, I'm deeply honored by this to receive this Arne Richter Award. I'd like to thank EGU, the EGU Council. I'd like to have a special thank for Olivier that support me on this nomination. I'd like to thank my two big mentors I had during my research. So my PhD advisor, Wladek Kaufman, when I was doing planetary sciences. And now Professor Eric Vigneault, who guided me during my work on remote sensing of the cryosphere. Thank you.
Neil Wells is kindly delivering the citation for Katrin Schröder.
Good evening. Harry Bryden, unfortunately, is unable to be here to present the Arne Richter Young Scientist Award in Ocean Sciences. On his behalf, I will give the citation for Dr. Katrin Schröder of CNR ESMAR, Venice. During and after her PhD, Dr. Schröder has written a series of groundbreaking papers on the deep water formation in the northwest Mediterranean Sea. She's published many papers in geophysical research letters, deep sea research, geophysical research. This event, this deep water formation event, was extraordinary in that a large volume of warm, salty water was formed in the Mediterranean during the very severe winter. She has explored the causes of the deep water formation, tracing its origin back to the Eastern Mediterranean transient in the early 1990s. And she's examined the new observations, the spreading of the new deep water as a transient tracer through the Western Mediterranean. As a result, Dr. Schröder, only 6 years after finishing a PhD, has become the foremost scientist examining the causes and effects of interannual and decadal scale changes in the Mediterranean Sea. Dr. Katrin Schröder is the present and future leader of Mediterranean physical and biogeochemical oceanography. Dr. Schröder is certainly an outstanding young scientist. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Katrin Schröder has presented the 2015 Arne Richter Award for Outstanding Young Scientists.
Yes, well, thank you very much, Neil, for introducing me. Thank you to the EGU Council members for this honor, and thank you to Harry Bryden, who nominated me for this award. Clearly, the work I've done during these years has involved a broader group of persons, and in particular the Ocean Observation and Climate Research team at CNR ESMAR in Venice, in Italy. and to which I am particularly grateful for the work done together. And I also consider this award a recognition to the marine Mediterranean science, and also to what I tried to stress during my medal lecture this morning, of the importance of having a sustained ship-based component of the observation system in the Mediterranean Sea. So thank you very much.
Luis Moresi is kindly delivering the citation for Manuel Facenda.
All right, I'm very pleased on behalf of a very long list of colleagues to be asked to introduce Manuele this evening as one of the outstanding young scientists for the EGU, which he obviously is. Manuele has contributed to our understanding of the dynamics of subduction zones and mantle flow around subduction zones using a large combination of numerical modeling, very careful integration of observational constraints which come from a broad range, including petrology and seismology. He's made a spectacular start to what must be a promising career and a very exciting one, and I'd like to congratulate him very warmly on that start.
Manuel Facenda is presented the 2015 Arne Richter Outstanding Young Scientist Award.
All right, so sorry for not smiling so much. I'm a bit emotional, and yeah, actually it's a very great pleasure and honor, okay, to receive this award. And this is just not the usual and standard sentence to start a speech, because since the first year I came to EGU, so when I was not a young scientist but a kid scientist, so I was really very positively impressed by the past recipients of the Arne Richter Award. And of course, being here today was not possible without a significant contribution of several scientific mentors and collaborators, and I would like to acknowledge in particular so Taras Gerian and Luigi Burlini from ETH Zurich, Louis Moresi, so the guy behind me, who just presented me, and Fabio Capitanio from Monash University. And also I would like to thank the EGU to organize this kind of awards, so like the Outstanding Student Paper Award, the Division Award, and the Union Award, that for us, young scientists, are really important and give like additional energy and additional motivation to continue in this, to work on this field. Thanks.
We are now presenting the 2015 Union Medals. Please welcome on stage Hubert Savenaye and citationist Nicolas van der Giesen. Sergei Silitinkevich and citationist Arake Petrosian. Carlo Lai and citationist John Taduno. And Jonathan Lunin and citationist Federico Tosi. Nicolas van der Giesen is kindly delivering the citation for Hubert Savenaye.
Thank you very much. We're very happy, all of us, to see you here. I'm very proud of you, Hubert, that you have won the von Humboldt medal. When we think of von Humboldt, we think international and we think broad interest, and that exactly is what you embody. If there's any international scientist, I think it must be you. It started early on in the estuaries of in Mozambique. And it kept continuing when you worked for UNESCO IHE. Maybe not everybody knows, but you were one of the mentors of the Prince of Orange. And during the World Water Forum in 2000 in The Hague, you were really one of the people who moved water into the international political forum. And in that sense, you have had an enormous impact on development of water resources throughout the world. And that has been, I think for me, it may be the most significant contribution in addition to all your scientific addition. You've built up beautiful networks in Southern Africa, WaterNet, very important, very efficient, very effective. And of course, you've brought also a large part of that hydrological cycle. You did not just focus on one part, you've looked at many aspects of the hydrological cycle, and that's why I think von Humboldt is an excellent medal for you to have. There was a little bit of hesitation because von Humboldt did not seem to get this watershed thing completely right, but you explained it yesterday excellently, so then we were all convinced that you should have the medal. Congratulations.
So Hubert Savenaye is presented the 2015 Alexander von Humboldt Medal.
Well, it is indeed a great honor to receive this very prestigious Alexander von Humboldt medal. Those of you who don't know Alexander von Humboldt, I think there are very few who don't know, but he, at the turn of the 18th century, traveled mostly to Latin America to do observations with the, at that time, most advanced new instruments. He measured almost everything he could lay his hands on, from geology, geography, water, ecosystems, people. He did almost everything. And after returning to Germany, after all these travels, he wrote a standard work on science. And he developed a couple of completely innovative theories for that time, which were based on his observations. Well, why I'm so happy to receive this medal is because this is the same inspiration that I've gone through. I've been very happy to be in a situation where I could measure in Africa, in Asia, in South America, and which has helped me to formulate my own theories, and I'm extremely grateful for that. And I find this the most beautiful honor that I could receive from the EGU. I would like to thank particularly, not everybody, not all my students, because I can't mention them, but I'd like to thank Nick van der Giezen for his great citation, and the people who supported me. That was Dominique Masvi-Mavi from the University of Western Cape. That was, oh, now I'm, now I'm in dire straits, you know. That was Álvaro Carmelvage from the University Eduardo Mondlane in Maputo. That was Nguyen An Duc from the Vietnam Mekong Committee. And it was Jungbo Liu from Beijing Forestry University. And of course, my good friend Stefan Uhlenbroek from UNESCO IHE. I'm extremely grateful that they nominated me for this prestigious medal. Thank you very much.
In substitution of Arakel Petrosian, Hans Thybo will read the citation for Sergei Silintekevich.
Sergei Silintekevich has received or will receive the Alfred Wegener Medal and honorary membership for creating the fundamentals of the theory of stratified planetary boundary layers. And I'm very pleased I was attending Sergei Silintekevich's medal lecture this afternoon, and I think that for the first time I began to understand something about turbulence. He illustrated it in a fantastic way. So those who didn't attend that lecture, they missed something. Congratulations, Sergei.
Sergei Silintekevich is presented the 2015 Alfred Wegener Medal and honorary membership.
I am very much thankful for this most prestigious award from the society. I must say that the name of Alfred Wegener means for me very much. First of all, Alfred Wegener has given to us an example of absolutely outstanding change of the paradigm. He has dramatically changed the entire concept in earth sciences. I think that this is the most dramatic scientific revolution in earth sciences in 20th century. But I have one specific reason to be very, very honored and to be very happy of getting a medal named Alfred Wegener. The point is that I started my West European career. So I was born in St. Petersburg, and the first part of my career was scientific career was in Soviet Union, and then I moved more than 25 years ago. And in the very beginning of my Western career, I have been working at Alfred Wegener Institute for Marine Research. But this is not extraordinary fact. The extraordinary fact is that I have met a girl who is now my wife, and thanks to Alfred Wegener, and this is my first, most important for me, I would say, major award related to Alfred Wegener. I thank you. I thank you very much.
John Taduno is kindly delivering the citation for Carlo Lai.
Carlo Lage has demonstrated a sagacity in his career that is actually similar to Holmes. He started out by applying the then young field of paleomagnetism to studies of tectonics in the Mediterranean and provided fundamental insight in terms of concepts like subduction rollback. He quickly realized that advances in mass spectrometry allowed the measurement of cosmogenic isotopes in marine sediments that opened up new studies for reversals, excursions, paleoceanography, and climate change. He also realized that advances in cryogenic magnetometers could allow for a step function of increase in our understanding of geomagnetic records from sediments. He then pursued this tirelessly with Bill Gurry, the late Bill Gurry, and has provided for us a new whole class of instruments that are used every day in laboratories around the world. But it was really one of these ideas from Carlo, that is the very simple yet bold observation of the correlation between reversal paths and seismically determined characteristics of the lower mantle that really was transformative. This really implied a control of the geodynamite by the lower mantle, but it really motivated conversations between paleomagnetists, experimentalists, and modelers in ways that continue today in the dialogue of deep Earth's interior. Carlo has held many leadership positions and mentored many young scientists who are leaders in their own field. As a founder of the Geophysical Information for Teachers, he has really had a profound impact on geoscience education. I don't want to embarrass my friend too much, but I have come a long way, so I can say what I want. And that of the community of nominators. And it's really this combination of transformational science and his tireless pursuit of improving geoscience education that really sets Carlo Lage apart. Thank you.
Carlo Lage is presented the 2015 Arthur Holmes Medal and Honorary Membership.
Thank you, John, for these kind words. I almost did not recognize myself. And the reason for that is that I'm very conscious that I've not been alone along my scientific life. And I would like to associate all these people to the ceremony today. And the first one is the person when many people know that I was a physicist and then I changed to the geophysics. And it was not an easy decision to make. And the person who has helped me a lot in this occasion is my lifetime friend, Renato Funicello, whom I met not as a scientist, but as a competitor in a cross-country competition among kids, high school kids in Roma. And this is a kind of friendship 55 years ago, the kind of friendship which you are very fortunate if you have once in your life. And me, I'm more than fortunate because this friendship has passed over to the next generation. And also a tutti i ragazzi di Roma 3. Then I also wish to thank Jacques Laverie, who welcomed me in the new geophysics lab, and that was my second life. And in this second life, many people have helped me quite a lot, quite a lot. Hans Seirert, as usually I could measure in his lab all the time. And he could not believe that I lost the key to his lab about 1 hour after he had lent me. Then Mike Fuller has spent many times, many periods in our lab in GIF, and I also share with him a very beautiful flight on a two-seater small plane from Santa Fe to Santa Barbara, passing over Crater Lake. And we were so excited that we forgot to, we got lost, and we arrived to the refueling airport in the middle with the engine going and almost landed, almost crashed. And Jörg Beer has helped me a lot. And his science, his high-quality science, is only matched by his extreme kindness. In the lab, we also welcome Churik Xiang from Beijing and Li Tequei from Taiwan. And Li Tequei was not only initially a student, he has become a friend, he has introduced me to his family, and even, which is absolutely fantastic, to the ceremony of a Taiwanese engagement and a marriage via his younger brother. And of course, I should not forget about the people permanently in the lab. Aurélie, Camille, Alain, thank you. Then I came here at EGU, and here I have an enormous debt of gratitude to Arne Richter. Arne, I don't know if you realize that you started my third life with encouraging me with educational programs. And of course, I wish to thank all the members of the Committee on Education. They have not participated to my scientific, not all of them, to my scientific life, or my scientific research, but they have provided the atmosphere of relaxed, constructive, that was necessary for me to go on with my research, but also take over the educational program. Last, but not least, almost all the work in my geophysics life has been done with Catherine Kissel. And I have to stop here, otherwise she would be mad at me if I go on saying something on her. But mostly, this is not the real reason. The real reason is that I don't know what words I could use to thank her enough. Thank you.
Federico Tosi is kindly delivering the citation for Jonathan Lunin.
I first met Professor Jonathan Irving Lunin, or I should better say simply Jonathan, when I still was a student making my thesis at INAF, Italy's National Institute for Astrophysics in Rome. At that time, Jonathan was visiting us to work with our former director, Angioletta Corradini, on planetary formation model. And I was fortunate, lucky enough to meet Jonathan again and again during my career. He was a real source of inspiration for our work. Jonathan Lunin is a planetary scientist and an excellent astrobiologist, and his research interests are broad, with a focus on the formation and evolution of planets and planetary systems, the nature of organics in the outer solar system, and the processes that led to the formation of habitable worlds in our solar system as well as in other extrasolar planetary systems. And the work on Jonathan indeed shed new light on how planets form and evolve and what processes maintain and establish habitability, also in some exotic environments like those represented by methane and ethane seas and lakes on Saturn's major moon, Titan. Jonathan is a great scientist, and I thought, as a former student, that is not only a valued colleague and a scientist for many of us, but also the best choice possible for this EGU Jean-Dominique Cassini medal. So please join me in applauding Jonathan.
Jonathan Lunin is presented the 2015 Jean-Dominique Cassini Medal and honorary membership.
Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, distinguished members of the EGU Council, dearest Federico, dear colleagues, friends, and family, I very much want to thank the European Geosciences Union for this extraordinary honor, which I humbly and gratefully accept this evening. It is with particular gratitude that I accept this medal as nearly the first American to have been so honored. My predecessor in this recognition ruined that aspect of it for me. Stamatios Kramidis was born in Greece, but spent much of his career in the United States. And he can do an American imitation much better than I can. But by the criterion that I was born and raised in the US, I can claim some uniqueness among the distinguished group of Cassini Medal winners who preceded me. I owe to European space science a great deal. And to be more specific, it is the famous spacecraft that was named after Jean-Dominique Cassini and his contemporary Christian Huygens that gave life to most of my scientific career. Were it not for Daniel Gautier in France and Wing Ip in Germany, together with Toby Owen and Don Hunton in the US, the Cassini-Huygens mission would not exist. Were it not for the inspired leadership at the European Space Agency in the 1990s, especially Roger Bonnet, Cassini-Huygens would have died stillborn in the womb. Were it not for Angeletta Corradini, the co-inventor with Marcello Fulcignoni of modern planetary science in Italy, I would not have been plugged into the European network of scientists that led ultimately to my being named the only American interdisciplinary scientist on the Huygens probe. And were it not for Jean-Pierre Le Breton, the Huygens project scientist, we would not have had the kind of Huygens probe mission that led to the tremendous discoveries that I'll discuss in my prize lecture on Friday. I want to recognize and thank my Italian colleagues who nominated me from the Institute for Astrophysical and Planetary Studies, and represented here by Federico Tosi. Thanks to the vision of their founder, Angeletta Corradini, Italy has been and is today a huge player in planetary exploration. And the institute that she founded and where Federico and others work today at the foot of the Colli Albani near Rome is forever in my heart and will always be my home. My wife, Cynthia, has shared this European journey for more than 28 years. Her keen eye for the beautiful, her common sense, her ability to separate the wheat from the chaff have shaped our European experiences so profoundly that she is central to the friendships and collegial relationships that will always be the best part of our times over here in Europe. So if I can give anything back that was given to me in the chance to work on Cassini-Huygens, it is at a minimum to try to do no damage to the future, at a maximum to open new doors for the young scientists of today to be part of even more amazing odysseys of discovery tomorrow. And what the Swiss physician and traveler Thomas Plater wrote over 400 years ago is still true today. There are so many astonishing things that remain unexplained. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the EGU President Hans Thybo is now kindly closing this award ceremony. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you all for joining us in celebrating this year's awardees of the EGU. I hope that you, as I have been, impressed by the broadness of our geosciences that extends from the core of the Earth up to the exoplanets. It's an amazing dimension to cover. And I also am very happy to have seen awardees within the whole range of disciplines that we are covering. So once again, thank you for coming. The EGU will now host a reception out here in the front of the hall. And I have to remind those awardees who are attending the dinner tonight that the buses will be leaving from outside of the center at the main entrance at 7 o'clock sharp. So thank you everyone for coming, and let's go and celebrate once again all the awardees.